Emotional healing plays a vital role in maintaining our overall mental health and emotional well-being. A lot of our explosive emotional reactions aren't actually a response to the present moment. They are a build-up of all the times where we were in a similar dynamic and did not stand up for ourselves, use our voices, or express our emotions. By acknowledging our feelings, we grant ourselves the space to understand their origins, unraveling the threads of the past experiences that continue to feed into our present reactions. So, what if we have experts helping us in the mantra of healing within? I think we have reached the right place here. With wishing you all an empowering day, this is Sindhu Panika, delighted and privileged to welcome you all to the 6th edition of Knowledge City Literature Festival, organized by SDR Knowledge Foundation, powered by Rise in Education. Today we have with us a very powerful dais to voice on the topic, healing from within, harnessing the power of mindfulness and coaching. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Dr. Sapna Sharma, Director of the only multi-speciality counseling and therapy center, Mind Junction, a TEDx speaker and international counselor, life coach, motivational speaker, counseling skill trainer, an eye surgeon and an author. She has been decorated with the prestigious Shiromani Sampada Deshak Gem Counselor Award, Successful Women in Management Award, and the Counselor of the Decade Award for pioneering and popularizing counseling in Central India. Her first book titled Spiritual Parenting is already in 2nd edition and has been receiving strong approvals and accolades from around the country. Her second book, For the Love of Me, is making waves. Apart from this, she is a much-read columnist for various newspapers and magazines. We welcome you, ma'am. We welcome Sir Anubhav Agrawal, a dedicated life coach and author, past trauma healer and content creator. With a passion for empowering individuals to overcome emotional challenges, he specializes in programs like learning relationship dynamics, personality development, move on, and soulful wellness. Through these transformative offerings, he helps clients heal from past traumas, develop self-awareness, and build stronger and more meaningful relationships. As a published author, he recently launched Why Not Me to the Pain of One-Sided Love. With years of experience guiding people towards personal growth and self-discovery, he continues to inspire and uplift through workshops, one-on-one coaching, and thought-provoking social media content. We welcome you, sir. We welcome Sir Ashdin Doctor, also known as the Habit Coach and a TEDx speaker. He started the habit coaching industry in 2016. He works with CEOs and companies to create habits that help them with productivity, vitality, and wellness. He is invited as a keynote speaker all over the world, and he's also the host of the Habit Coach podcast, which is one of the top podcasts in the wellness category with over 1,500 plus episodes. He's the author of 3 best-selling books: Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, the book of Good Habits for Kids, 1 Habit a Day, 31 Habits to Transform Your Life. We welcome you, sir. And to moderate the session, we have with us Mr. Kautilya Chajal, a renowned clinical psychologist and life coach with over 15 years of experience, passionate about human development. He combines traditional psychotherapy with holistic methods like chakra healing and past life regression, offering a unique and transformative approach to mental well-being. In his latest book, 21-Day Ultimate Reboot, perfect alignment of mind, body, and soul, set to be released next month, and he shares his extensive experience through a practical and effective guide. His grounded and relatable style encourages readers to embark on a healing journey, exploring their inner selves with ease. His dedication continues to inspire positive change in individuals and organizations worldwide. So without any further ado, with a great round of applause, over to
the Good evening, lovely audience. Today we are diving into the topic healing from within, harnessing the power of mindfulness and coaching. And we have an amazing panel of experts from different walk of life and so much experience who will be sharing their experience in this conversation. So in this fast-paced world, we are so busy looking for external validation, like from relationship or maybe achievements or maybe success, that we have forgotten that the healing starts from within, from ourselves. So today our experts going to be like talking about sharing their experiences, and at the end of the conversation you can ask queries or questions you have, right? And in the meanwhile you can just write it down so that you remember at the end of the day. So to start with the conversation, my first question is, there's a lot of buzzword about mindfulness nowadays. So what exactly mindfulness means according to you, and how accessible it is in our everyday life? So we can start. One.
Yeah, I believe it's something within us. It's just when you give a name to something, it sounds like कुछ दूर का है, किसी और के लिए, हमसे तो नहीं होगा. Mindfulness simply is the awareness of being here. Awareness is the most important word here because we all believe कि मैं तो यहीं पर हूँ, मैं कहाँ जा रहा हूँ. But when we are actually not 100% aware, we are either in the past or in the future, which is the key factor for every issue in our life. So it's just simply, you are here. Are you here?
It's being in the present.
That's it. That's being in the present also makes it a little enigmatic. People start asking, being in the present, बोलना आसान है, कैसे करें? So I would just say the awareness of being where you are.
So how we can make it accessible in everyday life?
It's a choice. There are techniques and methods, a lot of ways that you can do that, but basically everything starts with a choice. If I decide I want to be here, I can be here. When I am continuously feeling bad about something which has happened in the past, trust me, it's a choice. I always give an example that if you are doing something that you really like, or maybe you are where you are really supposed to be present, like suppose you are working and you are dealing with a client, you have to do that. And if you become aware of it, at that moment you are actually not getting disturbed by the past.
Yeah.
So there is no trick to anything here. It's a choice. This is the work that I want to do, I need to do, so I am doing it.
So it's about being conscious.
It's a choice. Being conscious about it.
Anubhav, what you?
So, I second with ma'am. Obviously, it is about living in the present, but मैं इसको अपने तरीके से explain करने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि what exactly does this mean living in the present? If I'm here talking with you, addressing all these audience, listeners, if I'm thinking about my past, if I'm thinking कि कल मैं क्या कर रहा था अभी इस moment पे, then I'm not mindful. If I think about मेरे ex ने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया, मेरे फला friend ने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया, for example, so I'm not mindful. Mindfulness basically is, if I'm here, what I'm talking about is more important for me, how I can calm myself down, and mindfulness also helps you to heal yourself because you are aware about what you are feeling, what you are doing, and be conscious about it.
Yes.
You are not getting distracted from negative thoughts, pattern of negative thoughts. When you start living in that way, when you make it as your lifestyle, you tend to ignore so much negativity in your life. You cannot welcome negativity in your life anymore. You are more positive in your life. This is what I believe.
Ashdin?
Okay, so I'm going to turn your question on its head.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever asks me what is mindfulness. The question that normally comes is, how do I stop overthinking? Right? How many of us are overthinkers here?
Yeah, that's also true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? It always comes as, how do I stop all these thoughts from coming in my head? Is where we normally think from this mindfulness aspect. And I keep telling people, listen, your bheja was given one job, which is what? To think. Your heart was given one job, which is what? To beat. Now you're telling your bheja to stop thinking is like telling your heart to stop beating. So instead of asking yourself, how can I stop overthinking, there's no such thing as overthinking. Your brain, your mind is doing what it's supposed to do. It's only not doing what you wanted to do. You wanted to think in a particular direction, but it's thinking in every other direction but that direction that you want to think. So mindfulness is the art, is the habit of getting your mind to think in the direction you wanted to think, so that either in this context you're in this moment, or when you're writing your exam, you're completing your exam, or when you're with your partner, you're completely with your partner. That is the idea of mindfulness in this sense, because it always comes from overthinking. How do I stop this overthinking?
So it's like awareness, conscious, and directing the mind. Yeah. Right? Good. So we have three aspects of mindfulness. Now let's go on.
Can I just give one small example? Like most of the people sitting over here after listening to, most of the people sitting here would have thought of some one person, usne ye sunna chahiye tha. That's immediately taking you away from the present and creating problems for you.
So it's like giving yourself importance you're giving others. Might as well you do it to yourself. Right. So now we have heard a lot about coaching these days. You know, everyone is like we have videos and we're being a coach here. So what exactly coaching means for you and how different it is from different techniques of guidance? And if you can share, you know, some experiences of yours of coaching, you know, with our lovely audiences. So should we start from here?
So, coaching is definitely in nowadays. आजकल काफी लोग coaching कर रहे हैं and it's somehow helping people, a lot of people, in getting healed, in getting clarity, in getting answers of their questions, in getting guidance from the people, and एक clarify हो जाता है पाथ लोगों का कि किस तरीके से चलता है, destination पता है, almost सभी लोगों को उनकी destinations पता है, लेकिन इस डेस्टिनेशन तक पहुंचना कैसे है, ये एक लाइफ कोच आपको गाइड करता है, बिकॉज वो भी किसी तरीके से यहाँ तक पहुंचा है जहाँ पे आप पहुंचना चाहते हैं. बिकॉज समवेयर फॉर एग्जांपल इफ समबडी फ्रॉम हियर wants to heal, so we can help you in healing because we are already healed, we are already know the ways, the techniques to heal ourselves, so that is how we help people in healing. So in a way coaching is also helping people in healing, in getting clarity, in clearing their blockages of their minds.
You mean to say coaching is also part of therapy or therapy is a part of coaching?
Coaching is a part of therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes. So I would start by explaining the difference between therapy or counseling and coaching. That's the most important thing to understand. So counseling is basically deals with what has happened in the past. How to overcome, or if you have any issues regarding anything that's happened in the past. Coaching is to help you towards something that you want to achieve. So you have been in a bad relationship and there's a trauma that you are healing. That trauma can be healed by counseling. Now suppose if you wish to come out of that relationship, you are not able to, you need hand holding. You need continuous guidance, support, motivation so that you can develop that courage, take the right steps stage by stage. So that is coaching. So it's like counseling and coaching, the future.
So I see coaching as a person who is in your team, just the way say you have a cricket coach, a coach who is someone who's in your team, who's rooting for you to win. The only thing is that this person has the skills and the wisdom that you don't currently possess. What does that mean? That means that this person has techniques that you probably don't know about, and this person has experiences that you don't probably know about yet. And like you rightly said, it's all about proactively, how do you make changes and how do you put things into action. So it is not only a thought exercise, but it's how do you put it into action as an exercise. That's how it is.
So coaching can be like changing your perspective, how you look to things, or
so belief systems, perspectives are the start of it.
right.
Changing it and then taking action on them is the second.
So giving an action also, guidance, how to act.
Yeah, so basically you start with first understanding and analyzing the problem. Then the next step is deciding what is to be achieved, then setting the goals, and then the next step is creating actions to reach to that goal, and then going through one step at a time to reach to the
Evaluating at the same time.
evaluating, reaching there, if dealing with any issues if you have in between. Yeah.
So according to you, like mindfulness and this coaching, they complement each other or they're totally different? Is there any connection between mindfulness and coaching?
Of course there is.
Yes.
Yeah. See, like I said that even if any kind of healing, if it's counseling or coaching, the thing is that you are supposed to take an action. Okay, decide what I want to do and take an action. Like I would like to take up from him what he said, that overthinking. Right? Most of the time, the human tendency is to think about what is bothering us. You know, we like to think about it rather than changing it. Right? And if we decide that we want to change it, it has to be a present decision. Because the more my mind deals with the past, or the more my mind dreams of the future, I'm not able to take action. I'm just thinking. So mindfulness is what the coaching is able to achieve, because then you are hand holding and taking that person one step at a time. Piche ka nahi.
Right.
Aage ka.
So when you're in the present, you can obviously create a better future.
Yeah.
Right? So rather than dwelling in the past, so that you don't live the present and cannot create a future. However.
Like mindfulness would be one of the tools that you would use.
Right. Right.
It's not the only part that you do.
So any other tools you can speak about which actually is a part of coaching and which our audience can use generally by themselves. If they don't have a coach for themselves, or a guide for themselves, so any of the techniques you would like to recommend so that our audiences can use for themselves?
I think journaling plays a vital role. If you are, journaling is the basic thing a person can do, and any person can do. It's all about writing what you are feeling, writing down your thoughts. The more you get those thoughts out of your mind, those feelings out of your heart, more you will be able to open the vents to heal yourself.
Introspecting yourself.
Yes, exactly. Introspecting ourselves. So, yeah, this is the thing. And journaling के ज़रिए आप बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. Journaling के ज़रिए आप, you don't need, if it's not a very severe problem, then you can definitely, by being mindful and by writing down your thoughts, writing down what you feel, writing down what you can create a plan of action and you can start executing. जो भी आपके goals हैं, जो भी आपकी whatever you want to achieve in life, whatever you want to do. आजकल एक चीज बहुत चल रही है affirmations करना. ये चीज भी कहीं ना कहीं journaling का पार्ट है. What you are doing is you are writing what you want to achieve in life. Journaling can create a good impact in your life.
So I think so the way that this is the main habit that I give almost everybody to do when we start coaching with each other, which is one aspect of journaling known as free flow journaling. Free flow journaling is very simple. All you do is you set a timer on your phone for 15 minutes. Okay, you can start with 5 minutes if you think 15 minutes is too long. 15 minutes. And for 15 minutes, you just start writing whatever thoughts are running through your mind. Right? Sometimes you might sit down and say, kuch thoughts hi nahi aa rahe. Fantastic. Then start with stupid, Ashdin is making me write this. I don't know where he's making me write this. When was the last time I held a pen? You know, it was in school, and in my school I had this best friend called so and so, and you know, that guy stabbed me in the back. And whatever thoughts come, you flow them out like this. And what that does is it unleashes all the thoughts that you've not allowed yourself to think for so many years. And it comes to the surface, and it comes on the paper, and once it comes on the paper, it is almost like it's out of your system. You don't have to read it again, you don't have to publish it, you don't have to make a book out of it. You can tear it up, throw it away, no problem. That is one beautiful way of taking journaling into a way of releasing all these overthinking aspects that we have. Along with that, a gratitude practice is one of the most beautiful ways of combining these two. Now, all of you must have heard of these two because they are very, very basic, but they're basic because they're so powerful. And if you are saying, हाँ सुना है नहीं कर रहे, now you know where the problem is, right? So सुना है मगर नहीं कर रहे is the way the issue is. Gratitude practice, this is what I tell them. You can write a gratitude on things you can be grateful for a person, a thing, or an event. So person is, I'm grateful for you to be doing this, I'm grateful for this microphone so you can hear me. Event could be, I'm grateful that I met Shah Rukh Khan yesterday.
I'm grateful for being such a part of
this panel.
Such a good panel. Amazing.
And all of this is going to be part of the gratitude practice tomorrow.
I'm really grateful. Expert panel.
But the key aspect is that for the first 1 month, you cannot repeat anything. So 3 things every day for the first 1 month, 90 things. When I say 90 things, most people say, "Arey nahi hoga." They're not 90 things to be grateful for. And that's when you realize just how many things have happened in your life that you've taken for granted. You know, there was one school teacher that was really good to you, you've forgotten about her, but in this gratitude practice it will come up. So, pro tip here, don't write I'm grateful to my parents. Write mummy and daddy separately, so you can get to 90 a little bit easier.
Gratitude, I'll take it a little further. How recently I've been working a lot on this and it's helping people. So when I ask them that, okay, what do you believe in? Like, you believe in God, you believe in universe, you believe in parents, what do you believe in? And you have to say thank you. That's a gratitude. The moment I say this, almost everyone say ये तो हम रोज करते हैं. वो सुबह अगरबत्ती लगाते हैं तो थैंक यू बोल देते हैं भगवान. But that is not helpful क्योंकि वो routine है. That is not helping us. So how to make it more effective? The moment negative thoughts start coming to your mind, okay, किस चीज के बारे में negative thought है, okay, उसके around gratefulness किस चीज के लिए हो सकता है ये बोलना शुरू. For example, I have headaches since last 5 days. I'm very irritable and I'm feeling कि मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है. हमारी आदत होती है ना, कुछ भी हो गया तो मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है. So moment those thoughts come, you know, there is so many other things. I'm so grateful that I've had great health till now. I am grateful that I have parents and families and support, whoever it is, to help me in this situation. I'm so grateful that I can afford going to a doctor. I'm so grateful that yesterday my mother, you know, mother, wife, husband, whoever, मेरा सिर दबा के दिया. And there would be hundreds of things which will come to your mind. I am so grateful that I have a head to have headache. See, that is what it is, because we don't have ये जब तक सर दर्द नहीं होता तब तक सर होने का एहसास भी नहीं होता है, right? यहाँ पे जितने लोगों का हाथ फ्रैक्चर हुआ है, वो फ्रैक्चर होने के बाद पता चला होगा कि यार एक एक उंगली का इंपॉर्टेंस कितना रहता है. So that is what we are missing, you know, कि जिस भी चीज से रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम होगी, if you just develop this habit, इसके आसपास क्या अच्छा है देखते हो, you will find hundreds of things, and by the time you start come to the end of this gratitude, your negativity would have changed.
So we have like introspection journey, then we have free flow journey, and then gratitude, which is continued with the gratitude. How about forgiveness? Isn't it a very important aspect of being mindful, like forgiving your past or forgiving things, so that you move forward or move ahead, right? And then only you have gratitude.
Forgiving is important, but what is more important is forgive and accept. Acceptance is the key, what I believe. आप भूल जाते हो वो ठीक है, आप माफ कर देते हो वो भी ठीक है, लेकिन आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाते हो whatever happened with you in the past, be it relationship, be it breakup, be it separations, be it any mishappening happened in your life, you just cannot accept it. So वहाँ पे आप लैग करते हो. You start accepting, you really need to understand. अगर आप इस denial में जीते रहोगे कि मेरे साथ ऐसा हो नहीं सकता, this cannot be true, I can't be the victim, this cannot happen to me, वो चीज आपको क्या करती है, उस चीज के, उस नेगेटिविटी के अराउंड सराउंड कर देती है बुरी तरीके से.
Stop playing the blame game.
Stop playing the blame game and start accepting. That is very important.
There's something very interesting about forgiveness. जब हम forgiveness की बात करते हैं ना तो हमारे मन में से, but उसने तो ऐसा किया था, ये तो बिल्कुल forgive करने लायक ही नहीं है. I mean, if I forgive, that means I accept कि वो मेरे साथ कुछ भी कर सकता है. So first important thing to remember is forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for us. उसको तुम जिंदगी भर बात मत करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Please understand this. If someone has done something which you feel has really violated your boundaries, you can stay away from that person, not talk to them, not उनको जाके बोलने की जरूरत भी नहीं, मैंने तुमको माफ कर दिया. What is essential to understand is that not forgiving is hurting you. शायद वो इंसान इतना आपके बारे में सोच भी नहीं रहा होगा जितना आप पूरा टाइम सोचते रहते. So it's about you wanting a better life for yourself and accepting, of course, the fact कि सबके साथ बुरा होता है, बॉस मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं होगा. सबके रिलेशनशिप टूटते हैं, मेरा ही नहीं टूटना चाहिए. ये बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है. I mean, everybody you see, youngsters, you look around at your friends, सबका हर दूसरे दिन ब्रेकअप होता है, मेरा वाला ऐसा नहीं. That is the problem, right? Things can happen, things can go wrong, and then adding gratefulness to it, gratitude to it, that there's a lot of better things in my life, there are good things in my life. नहीं जमता दूर रहो, दूर से नमस्ते करो, heal myself from it. So forgiveness, most important, is for yourself. It's not for anyone else.
And it's like forgiving is not forgetting.
You don't have to forget. देखो mind है यार, memory बन गई. I mean, we remember so many things since our childhood. KG class की कुछ बातें याद आती है. So don't get into forgetting. Forgetting का बहुत वो simple है. If I tell you not to think about a white elephant, that's all you are going to think about for the next 5 days. तो forgetting के लिए don't make forgetting a active phenomena. भूल गए तो भूल गए. उससे feelings जो related है ना, उससे बाहर निकलो. This guy, this person, this XYZ is not that important. I am.
So I'll turn it on his head again. So before we started this, he said, I want lots of controversy. I want drama on stage. Okay, so this is my version of it. It's very, it's kosher drama, but still.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'll turn it on his head. You asked forgiveness.
Yeah.
I think the thing that many of us grapple with is forgiving ourselves.
Right.
It's not less, it's forgiving others for sure. But how many of us are not forgiving ourselves for the things that we've done? We call it guilt, we call it by different names, but it's ultimately the fact that how could I have done something like
Right.
that?
Self-forgiveness.
Self-forgiveness. We call it guilt, we call it shame, and all of these are the most toxic emotions in our body. They are the ones that eat us up from inside. They go cut, 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 cut. And all of us start suffering because of this guilt, because of the shame that we're carrying inside, just because we don't know how to forgive ourselves. So I'll give you a habit on forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
If that's what you want. So the forgiveness habit has 2 steps. The first one is to accept the fact that you did what you did, without putting it into a context of, because of that I did this. No, I did this. And you have to be completely honest with yourself that you did this. So the acceptance in black and white that you did what you did is the first step. Hard, but needed. The second one is the most important, which is you ask yourself, am I going to continue doing this or am I going to stop doing this? If you say, no, I am the kind of person that does this, I am going to continue doing this, no more guilt. You'll be surprised, guilt goes away. Because now your identity is linked with that, you are this person, guilt is gone. Whether good or bad, nobody is passing judgment on you, you are passing judgment on yourself. The second one is that if you decide not to do it again, make your own rules on how you will make sure you don't do it again. What are the steps that you're saying that, yes, this is not who I am anymore. I was that person, but I'm not this person anymore. And it's that identity shift that helps you get out of that guilt quite fast, dramatically. And all of us need to do this, forgive ourselves. There's no need to hold this board inside us. Okay? Stress we hold on our shoulders, kandhe pe. This we hold inside. So let's get rid of this. Agree with me?
Yes.
Let's get rid of this.
It's human to make a, so you make mistakes.
Of course.
Yeah. So acknowledge.
It's a human experience, no? Like you, at
Yeah.
that point in time also you said, I wonder,
Yeah.
and you did it.
Yeah.
Now you did it because you wondered.
So it's already done. Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, so that is the biggest problem with us, that we expect us and the people around us to be almost godlike. हमसे गलती होनी नहीं चाहिए और हमारे साथ किसी ने गलत करना ही नहीं चाहिए.
Especially parents. Parents are supposed to be the
Absolutely. So वो जो है ना कि मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ, मेरा वाला भी ऐसा नहीं है. I guess that is the biggest problem here. सबके साथ सब कुछ हो सकता है. सबके साथ सब कुछ हो सकता है. होता भी है. Because spiritually that's what we are here for. We are here to take our lessons. And lessons cannot be taken without pain. तो दुनिया भर को पेन हो रहा है, मुझे नहीं होना चाहिए. जब हम ये पकड़ के चलते तो तकलीफ ज्यादा होती है.
So the old saying, without pain there is no gain. So as like there's a lot of buzzword about, as I said, about mindfulness and coaching. So there are a lot of misconceptions and myth about these words. What you have faced while you actually handle your clients or guide your clients, that what misconception they carry or what misconception is there in the world about it? I would like to clear it for us.
Shall I go?
Yeah.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that mindfulness is only this. You can be mindful with your anger also. In the middle of your anger, you can be mindful. In the middle of whatever it is happening, you can be mindful. Mindfulness is not this shanti. Mindfulness is knowing what it is that you're experiencing and experiencing it completely. That is the big misconception that we have around mindfulness. So it is not one Zen monk sitting and be thinking, I have to be there for 25 years in this monastery balancing on one leg like this. Only then will I achieve this mindfulness. No. If you're aware of what's happening even right now, complete mindfulness exists.
So in my practice, I teach people what is called as movie meditation. If you go to a multiplex these days, it's got all the ingredients of a perfect meditation setting. अंधेरा होता है. There's this nice room freshener's perfume is there. आपके बाजू में कोई बैठा भी होगा तो भी बात कोई नहीं करता जब तक मूवी चल रही है, एंड यू आर कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग ऑन वन थिंग व्हाइल यू आर गोइंग थ्रू दैट स्टोरी. आपके पास्ट प्रेजेंट सब दुख दर्द थोड़ी देर दूर हो जाते हैं. यू आर एक्चुअली बीइंग माइंडफुल. So you can be mindful anywhere. You don't have to like get into prescribed meditation format to be mindful. You can be mindful here. How I started it, I had attended this Vipassana meditation first time about 15 years back. तो 10 दिन तक आपके पास फोन नहीं है, कागज नहीं है, पेंसिल नहीं है, किताब नहीं है. You can't do anything. And you can't even look at everyone. सब नीचे नजर करके चलते हैं. So after coming back from there, I have attended the same meditation other times. I have other meditation also. But I started realizing कि जितना देर meditation में बैठते बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. उसके बाद में क्या? आजकल बहुत लोग कहने लगे मैडम मैं सुबह 10 मिनट आधा घंटा रोज मेडिटेशन करके निकलता हूँ. But if it is not helping you, it's of no use. Right? So can it be here and now? So how I had started it was, okay, so I'll tell you how it started. I had lots of issues going on in my life at that particular time. And I used to be like irritated and disturbed and everything. So I was once going on a highway with a couple friend of mine. They had taken me to show some place. And all through I was talking about my issues. मेरी मदर इन लॉ ने ऐसे बोला, मेरे हस्बैंड ने ऐसा बोला, ऐसा बोला, ऐसा. On the way also I was doing the same thing. Suddenly this guy says, सपना वो कुत्ता देखा? We are on the road, huh? And suddenly I felt अरे क्या है ऐसा special? And I saw nothing, a lame कुत्ता just crossing the road. And I got really angry. पता है क्यों? मुझे लगा कि मैं इतनी important बातें बोल रही हूँ. And this guy showing with his dog in between, disturbing me. But then he said, we took you out of that environment. We took you for a beautiful ride. Everything has been so nice and you are still there. What is the use of your meditation? That's when I started implementing directly. कमरे में कभी बैठी हूँ मुझे लग रहा है कि बहुत ज़्यादा मेरे thoughts किसी direction में जा रहे हैं. I look for something. Even if छोटी छोटी चींटियों की रो भी जा रही है ना उसको देखते रहो आधा घंटा. They are very interesting. Basically, you be here. You come back. You come back here. It's a choice. जरूरी नहीं, there's no compulsion कि वही सोचते रहो वही फील करते रहो. You come back here because that thinking it is not going to give you any outcome. Outcome वाला thinking ठीक है. I always divide thinking into two things: consequential and inconsequential. Consequential कर लो, कल सेशन देना है मुझे, ये राइटिंग करना है, fantastic. Inconsequential को stop करना अपने हाथ में है. It's not a big deal at all.
जिसका कोई मतलब नहीं है सोच के. That's overthinking again. Yes. So it's like being in the present and you can decide how you want to be in the present. So everyone might have different whatever simple like a movie or maybe watching an ant or maybe watching a fan or a flower.
Yeah, they say that you can be mindful during eating also.
Yeah, eating also.
Most of the time we eat in front of the television these days. But if you can just concentrate on the food, that's mindfulness. When you are walking, if you like to walk, but if you are walking like 3 people and you are all chatting all the time, again there's no mindfulness. Walk alone. Feel your feet.
Maybe with the music.
Music, feel the music, feel the environment, feel the air. Whatever, everything is mindfulness.
Yeah. And like people who are thinking something else while being here in the conversation, you can actually get back to the conversation. That's also mindfulness. Anything you want to add, Anubhav?
People often confuse mindfulness with meditation.
Right.
लोगों को लगता है कि ये meditation जैसा है और ये हम एक designated location पर ही कर सकते हैं. You can do it anywhere. You can do it. So basically, it's living in the moment. So you can do it anywhere. You can do it any kind of clothes you are wearing. You can do it in anything. You can do it in any way. Just you have to be. You need to understand कि meditation जैसा नहीं है कि जैसे सर ने बताया कि it's not about just being ओम वाली चीज. It's about कि आप अपने thoughts, अपनी feelings, अपने जो भी चीजें आपके आसपास हो रही हैं उन सब चीजों को ब्रीथ पर लेकर आओ. Just focus on breathing and focus on what is happening around you. If you are listening to me, you are mindful. That's all I can say.
So, like as you are so experienced in your own fields, you must be having a lot of clients coming for your guidance. So, any success story you would like to share with the audience, like which will motivate them, like why mindfulness is so important, or what exactly changed in their life when they did coaching to them. So, any success stories you have which you can share with the audiences?
So I had many clients जिनके साथ में मैंने बहुत सारी mindfulness के थ्रू भी मैंने लोगों को बहुत मूव ऑन करने में हेल्प की. So basically what you do is when you are trying to move on in your life, आप अपने thoughts में bounded हो जाते हो. You are restricted, your thoughts are clouded in your mind and you are not able to think beyond it. You are just missing that person. The face is all right in front of your eyes पूरे टाइम बस उस इंसान का दिमाग और उस इंसान का चेहरा आपके सामने है and you are not able to move on in your life. You are not able to think beyond it. You are not able to focus on any kind of work you do, be it professional, be it personal. किसी चीज पे फोकस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Move on करने के लिए सबसे बेस्ट चीज है mindfulness. When you start living in the mindfulness, when you start living in the present, in the moment, you start missing out all those things, which is important. You start ignoring all those patterns of negative thoughts, all those patterns of the missing part, that memories. उसने ऐसा कि वो प्लेइंग गेम खेलना, वो सारी चीजें जो आप करते हो ना, वो सब आप mindfulness के थ्रू सब चीजों को ब्लॉक कर सकते हो and you can live your life without holding any grudges, without holding any without blaming any person. Just accept it and start moving on in your life, being very by being very mindful.
So I will give example of how I help students to concentrate. Because आप पढ़ने बैठते हैं और दूसरे विचार आते रहते हैं मन में. It's a very common thing. So first of all, I always explain to them that we need to understand the role of the mind is to protect us. Okay, and it has वो उसने अपना रोल कुछ ज़्यादा ही सीरियसली ले लिया है. उसका प्रोटेक्शन का आइडिया क्या होता है कि कोई भी चीज का कितना बुरा हो सकता है पहले सोचो, so that if that happens, you're not shocked. Okay, so whatever is there, the issue is there, the mind will think the worst of it, and that's how you start getting disturbed in every possible way.
So again, the overthinking comes here.
Overthinking comes here. So we need to understand what that is the role of the mind.
Right.
और अगर ऐसा बोल देना कि सोचो मत, it doesn't work. I mean, it is going to, and it is another thing is it is going to create thoughts because it creates thoughts every 7 seconds.
What we say don't do, it doesn't.
अब करना हो नहीं करना हो, it will create thought about some random thing. That is the role of the mind. तो mind को रोकना वगैरह ये सब it doesn't work. Yeah. So for what I suggest to the students is when you are sitting down to study, keep with you a plain paper and a pencil or a pen, whatever you want. पढ़ते पढ़ते कभी तो ध्यान भटक जाएगा, कुछ और विचार आने लगेंगे. The moment you realize that oh मैं ये सोच रही थी या मैं ये सोच रहा था, just take that thought and put it on the paper. Don't describe it. Just write it down. Okay? जैसे will my ex contact me again? Such a nice thought. तो उतना ही लिखो, उसको पूरा describe मत करो. Okay. Now what happens is once the thought is taken from the mind and put it on the paper, that chain is broken. Right? You get back to your studies. After some time, some other thought will come. The moment you become aware, jot it down. So just create that list, and while you are creating that list, keep telling your mind, पढ़ाई होने के बाद सोचोगे. Okay. So the mind is also satisfied because mind का एक और characteristic होता है कि आपको भूलने नहीं देना चाहता. So it will just create chain of the thought. So you tell it, I will think about this, now I have written it down. And when you are doing this, you will realize कि शुरू में तो हो सकता है कि आप आधे घंटे सपने की दुनिया में हो, फिर आप you suddenly become aware. But when you keep practicing this, you know that half an hour keeps on reducing. और फिर ऐसा होने लगता है, एक टाइम ऐसा आएगा कि वो thought आते ही आपको realization हो जाएगा लिखने के पहले. Oh, this is a thought and I have to do it later. रात को लेटते समय ये लिस्ट लेकर लेटो, बहुत हंसी आएगी. You'll really enjoy. ये सोच रही थी. And half of the things are not something that you need to think about also. But that moment you keep coming back to your, you keep coming back to your whatever you are planned to do. And this really is very effective because most of my students have been benefited with this. They are able to increase their study and concentration time more and more.
So it's like diverting your thoughts, kind of.
Basically not
Blocking
giving
the chain.
importance to blocking the chain, क्योंकि mind ऐसा ना create करते जाता है एक के बाद एक, वो chain आपको तोड़ते रहनी पड़ती है. If you are able to do that, और धीरे धीरे आप देखोगे it becomes a part of your life. You will start realizing you don't even need to write it down.
So with mindfulness, I don't use it as a tool as much in my coaching practice. The aspect that I do use it for, there are two parts. In the coaching world, the first thing is that we don't know what are the habits that we currently have. So we become mindful of the habits that we have. So what we do is we keep a journal of all the little things that we do from morning to evening. And the first time a client of mine sees this journal of all the things that they've done from morning to evening, they say, "My God, this is what I'm doing." And then you say, "Yes, this is why your life is the way it is right now." So then you become aware of these things that have happened. So you're mindful about your entire day in that process with that particular exercise. So that's one thing that we do. And then obviously we make changes, etc., etc., etc. But every morning I do this meditation class online at 6 o'clock. So I conduct this meditation for people. Obviously missed it out these 2 days. But what we do on that is we do our chakra-based meditation. You have written a book on that. Congratulations on the book coming out.
Thank you so much.
So we do our chakra-based meditation followed by a meditation where we're sitting and we're observing our thoughts flowing past. Normally people say that we have to have zero thoughts. At least let's start by observing our thoughts. And the example I give is that imagine you're at a train station. Right? There are also people bustling about you, etc. These are all the random thoughts that are floating past. Some come bump into you, it's okay. Then one thought suddenly comes, which is the local train that comes in front of you. Do you have to get onto the train? You can choose not to get onto the train. You can see the train come, you can see the train go from you. That is that key thought, like what she said about, will my ex call me? Sudden thought comes in. Do you have to engage that thought and get on the train and say, I wonder when he'll call me? He'll call me tomorrow, he'll WhatsApp me, I have blocked him, I have to unblock him. Nay, maybe he'll send me a message on GPay with sending 1 rupee. God knows. Yeah, you know that, right? People, whoever is being blocked, there's a pro tip for you all. On GPay, you can send 1 rupee with a message. So, is they going to do that to me? So, you understand that you don't have to get onto the train of that thought. You can sit on that station. And slowly you'll realize that that station, all the trains stop. All the people who are running around have gotten onto the trains, they've taken off, and it's just you being there. And I say, there's no point of learning to meditate if you can't meditate at Churchgate Station. What is the big station here in Nagpur?
Nagpur.
Oh, one station, is it a busy station?
Yeah, we do have small stations actually on Nagpur, but Nagpur is like a Nagpur Junction, yeah, that's the big station. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, one more thing here, what is disturbing our mindfulness today is the phone. So if you plan to do something, any activity like studies or anything, I always suggest that, decide अभी 1 घंटा पढ़ना है, 1 ही घंटा पढ़ो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, but 1 घंटा आपने डिसाइड कर लिया है, please put your phone on silent and keep it in a cupboard. कबर्ड में रखो क्योंकि उसमें से लाइट भी दिखती है ना, हमको देखने की कंपल्शन होता है. We have to, and that keeps on disturbing even if we have a mindful moment. So if you are into anything that requires concentration or you want to be here, just put it on silent and put it inside an album. Take it out after it is done. Will help you a lot.
So it's time to wrap, as I got the message from you. So before we wrap, I would like our expert speaker just give some message to our audience, which they can carry away after this conversation. You ponder about why this is so important. What do you think is important? You want to share your knowledge in a sentence?
So, first of all, thank you so much for being here. You guys were a great audience, and जो भी चीज़ें आपने सुनी हैं, जो भी चीज़ें आपने समझी हैं, जो भी चीज़ें आप प्रोसेस करने वाले हो उसके बाद में बहुत सारा ज्ञान मिल गया आप लोगों को, बहुत सारी चीज़ें सोचोगे. Don't get yourself confused once again, क्योंकि पता चला इस सेशन के बाद आप और confused हो गए कि ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये सब चीज़ें एक साथ कैसे करेंगे, इस मूवमेंट में ये सब चीज़ें कैसे करेंगे. अगेन सिखाया आपको माइंडफुलनेस ही जा रहा है, तो वो ओवर थिंकिंग में कन्वर्ट मत करना है इसके बाद जाकर, इस चीज़ का ध्यान रखना. सो जैसा कि बताया गया है, अपने थॉट्स को अलाइन करो एक जगह पर, बी अवेयर व्हाट यू आर फीलिंग। मेरा आपको सजेशन है कि आप उसको लिखो, जर्नल करो, ठीक है, और उसके बाद उसको समझो कि क्या चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, क्या चीजें जरूरी हैं, क्या चीजें जरूरी नहीं है। फिर उसके अकॉर्डिंग अपना प्लान ऑफ एक्शन बनाओ, गोल्स डिसाइड किए, उसके बाद आप अपना प्लान ऑफ एक्शन बनाओ कि कैसे मैं इस गोल को अचीव करूंगा, और एटलीस्ट 30 डेज में उसको ब्रेक डाउन करो कि 30 डे का अगला टारगेट क्या है, नेक्स्ट 30 डेज में मुझे कैसे 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 चीजें अचीव करनी है। So I think in that way you will be more productive, you will be more mindful, and you will be out of overthinking wala zone. ठीक है?
So there's a beautiful mindfulness habit called mindful reading. So I would suggest you go get all our books and sit down and do mindful reading. What is mindful reading? When you're reading one page, you're completely present and you create a rule for yourself that you can never go back and reread what you've read. नहीं तो क्या होता है, you read and then say, अरे how did this person come here? ये कौन है? And then you go back 3 pages and then you first again start reading. You put down the book, you pick it up and say, oh, I read this 5 days ago. How am I starting to read this again? So mindful reading is being aware of what you're reading at that point of time, and there is no better way to start by going and getting our books and starting that practice. Was that a good plug for us?
Yeah, that's good.
I often like to tell everyone, please don't forget to love yourself. क्योंकि आपने देखा होगा, whenever you have been in love with someone else, you have done everything possible to make that person happy. But we keep on forgetting to love ourselves. आप खुद से प्यार करोगे ना, तो ये सारी चीज के आंसर आपको खुद ही मिल जाएंगे. Because I personally am a firm believer that Creator has created every being with its inherent intelligence. आपको सबको पता है अपनी लाइफ की प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व करनी है, but we don't love ourselves enough. आप अगर उस एंगल से देखने लगोगे ना, how can I make myself happy, you will know इसको तो पहले मेरी जिंदगी से हटाना है. You know it, you will know it, you will be able to do it also. और this is the first step. और अगर आप जानते हैं कि मुझे अपने आप को खुश करना है, but I am not able to help myself, please ask for help. Please, आप किसी से help मांगकर छोटे नहीं हो जाते. I'm a counselor over last 20 years. I still go and sit with certain people in my life when I have issues in my life. It's a very simple thing. Because when we are standing here, we cannot have a 360-degree view of ourselves. We need an objective viewpoint. वो आपको हेल्प करने वाला आपसे सुपीरियर नहीं होता किसी भी हालत में, बट वो दूर से देखता है, क्योंकि आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को बेटर सलाह दे सकते हैं कभी भी, बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू इट फॉर आवरसेल्व्स. सो वन इज वी नीड a 360-degree view. Secondly is we need someone to tell us that they believe in us and they can, that we can do better. Third, we need someone to remind us that we are important. और वो एक व्यक्ति अगर आपके आसपास वाला होगा तो possibility is that कि वो biased होगा, right? Your friend would be talking on your side and saying that वो नालायक boyfriend है, उसको छोड़ दो. And if it is his friend, he will tell something else to him, right? So that is why counselors, coaches, healers are needed. That is why they are needed. अगर अपने आप से प्यार करोगे तो पता चल जाएगा कि क्या काम करना है, नहीं कर पा रहे हो कैसे करना है, तो take help from someone. And third most one important thing that I would like to tell, please don't get influenced by the jargon that internet is spreading. मतलब आजकल कोई सैड नहीं होता, सारे डिप्रेस होते हैं. एग्जाम के टाइम डर लगना नॉर्मल है, हमको एंजाइटी होती है, वो हो जाता है पैथोलॉजिकल, राइट? सो प्लीज स्टार्ट सेइंग I am sad today. There's nothing wrong in being sad.
I just want to add one thing, that if you're hygienic, that doesn't mean you have OCD.
Exactly. मतलब that's how everyone describes themselves. मुझे डिप्रेशन है, मुझे पैनिक अटैक आते हैं. जरूरी नहीं है. I mean, those are serious illnesses. There are people who suffer from them. You have a fantastic life for yourself. Why do you want to create a pathology? Just say I am feeling sad today, and it's okay to feel sad. I am angry on someone. It's okay. मुझे बहुत डर लग रहा है. It is perfectly normal. You can save yourself from lot of heartache, and you will save your family members from lot of stress if you just start considering that you are a normal, wonderful, lovable human being.
Great. So yes, I just would like to give you a points what our experts have suggested. One is journaling, one is mindful reading, and one is looking for a mentor or a guide and getting a perspective from another person so that you know exactly where you're going wrong or where you need guidance. So these are the few things if you keep in your mind and being mindful about yourself, I think so you have a great future. So before we wrap up, I would like you to include in the conversation and ask you questions if you have any. Yeah, please.
Volunteers?
I think without a mic also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I have two questions. We have been talking about the acceptance, we have been talking about the overthinking, we have been talking about the obsession, anxiety, blah blah things, but the two root cause that has been causing everything is fear and the expectation. Now the expectation which I define as, now you are also having an expectation when you are interacting with the people, you should have a bare minimum courtesy, bare minimum etiquettes to meet with the people, but sometimes you miss that. That is also a cause of overthinking. So how to deal with that thing? Fear is not about only the studies, but the failure. It can be a personal, professional, social. It can be anywhere. So how to overcome these two factors? Because these are the two root cause which is been causing all these things. What I believe is.
Thank you. What's your name?
Janvijay Gupta.
Thank you so much for your question. The base of everything that we suffer in our life is not being connected with ourselves. We, since childhood, are being given labels, and we make our own image in our mind based on all the labels which have been around us. We see a lot of things which are perfect. Like for example, I see a hoarding every day where there's a beautiful woman and she's got lovely long hair which is like straight, and ये normally किसी का नहीं होता है. किसी के इतने सुंदर बाल normally किसी के नहीं होते. ये मैंने 4 beauty contest में जाके सीख लिया. Everything is made, but till that time I judge myself based on that. मेरा image वो है, right? So इतने सारी चीजें जब perception मेरी clear नहीं होती है and I start feeling that I am not good enough. When I feel I am not good enough, I want other people to acknowledge that I am good. Okay? And that's where all the problems start. If I don't respect myself, and if you sit there in the audience and start talking loudly, I will directly take it that you are not respecting me. You're not deliberately disrespecting me. You're just talking because you don't understand that you're not supposed to talk in a public program. But I will take it as if this person is. So everything starts with working on your self-esteem. That I said, love yourself. When it's a very small word, I said love yourself. But self-esteem work is a huge work. I personally did it for 4 years when I could say that some transformations happened. There are so many things which are put deep-rooted inside us which makes us feel I am not worth, I am not good. So it translates into he doesn't like me, she doesn't like me, they don't respect me, they don't do this to me, I will not pass, I will not do. Have a realistic understanding of yourself. I'm saying realistic. Okay? I'm good at this, I'm not good at this. It's simple. For so many years after my marriage, when I had kids, and because I did not love to cook, I felt I'm not a good mother. How many women here can relate with that? If I don't cook a lot of food for my children, like different varieties, I'm not supposed to be a good mother. That's something we just perceive. No one told me that. But one day, when I told myself that my children can speak anything very openly with me, they can tell me when I am wrong, they can stand very firmly in the world outside, they always feel that whatever happens, she is there as a pillar. This I have been able to give my children. खाना तो कोई भी बना सकता है, भूखे तो नहीं रहे इतने साल तक. So I don't expect everything from me. वो एक ideal mother की image, ideal daughter की image, ideal wife की image, ideal husband की image, which we are carrying in our mind, creates problem for us. Self-esteem, which starts with self-analysis.
Realizing your self-worth. Yeah. And don't look for validation all the time outside. Look inside you also. Validate yourself. Love yourself. That's what she said, because that is more important. Yeah. Please.
So I would like to thank you, ma'am. 10 years ago, I followed your advice. I heard you at an institute I was studying. That I was a student, and you were discussing about how we should be asking for what we really want, and those thoughts should not just keep lingering in our heads. So you gave us your own example, and you stated the sentence "पूछ के तो देखो," and it has really helped me come a long way. Today, after 10 years, I could not just resist myself to thank you in front of everybody.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Any other question? I think so that's the
Yes.
last question.
She requires some mic. She requires some mic.
She doesn't require mine.
Thank you. So, like, it was a topic about healing within, and I just want your opinions on self-compassion for this topic, because healing is somewhere a self-compassion today.
Yeah, I said love yourself. Absolutely. First and foremost thing. And when love yourself doesn't mean that you have to be extraordinary to be loved. You know your good things, know your bad things. Don't lie to yourself. दुनिया में किसी से भी झूठ बोलो. It's an art, a beautiful art to lie. खुद से जिस दिन झूठ बोलते हो उसी दिन तकलीफ सबसे ज्यादा होती है. मैं ऐसी हूँ, मैंने आज गलती करी है, मैंने आज एक अच्छा काम किया है. Just keep on telling yourself whatever is there. And I absolutely use that word, beautiful word, compassion. खुद को गलती नहीं कर सकते ये सोचने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. सब गलती करते हैं. हम कोई महान अलग से पैदा नहीं हुए हैं. हम भी गलती करेंगे. Recognize it. Make amends for it. कुछ चेंज नहीं कर सकते तो एटलीस्ट माफी मांग लो. मांग सकते हो तो नहीं मांग सकते हो. Even people who are not in this world, you can still say sorry to them for so many things. और आगे बढ़ो. Just every time remind yourself, I am a human. जिस दिन मैं गलती करना बंद कर दूंगी, उस दिन मैं भगवान हो जाऊँ. So I'm a
God
human.
also make mistakes.
Gods also. We have too many stories of gods making mistakes. So it's okay to make mistakes. What do you do after recognizing it? That's the only thing. Love yourself as much.
One last question. Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad. Your thinking makes sense. So, why do we all the time think this is negative, this is positive? Why do we do that?
See, this is how we've been brought up.
This is related.
This is how we've been told everything, good or bad. And it's not, it is because a general awareness of good and bad keeps people
On the track.
right? If there is no definition of good or bad, कोई भी चोरी कर सकता है, किसी को मार सकता है, किसी को हर्ट कर सकता है, कुछ भी कर सकता है. So that definitions are needed. But हमारी normal life में शायद इतना बड़ा कुछ नहीं होता. हम छोटी-छोटी चीजों में सोचते रहते हैं. Now this is especially जैसे women oriented होगा तो एक वो है कि औरत ने घर संभाल के रखना चाहिए. उसने कितनी भी उसके साथ में अत्याचार हो, उसने चला लेना चाहिए. उसके expectations नहीं होने चाहिए. These are the things which is given to us. अगर वर्क सेटअप में हो तो भाई बॉस के सामने कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहिए, बॉस हमेशा राइट होता है, etc. So these are the things which have been coming to us since ages, and we need to start understanding that ये perspectives हैं, ये relative होता है. Good and bad, right or wrong is very very relative. You can even justify a murder in certain situations, right? But it is always ये इसमें थोड़ा सा narcissistic trait आ गया तो गड़बड़ है. मैं जो बोलूँगा वो सब सही है.
I me myself.
But that doesn't work. But generally, if you are not doing anything to purposefully hurt anyone,
What we are discussing is individually mindfulness. How it is to be used in relation with family and society.
yes, and very well put. It is that always ask yourself, am I doing anything to purposefully hurt anyone? कई बार आप कुछ करना चाहेंगे दूसरों को उसका हर्ट हो सकता है, but उसके ऊपर उसको काम करना है. I'll give you an example. For a mother, if a child wants to live separately, ये मदर अपने ऊपर ले लेती है पर्सनली, और the family takes it. ये अच्छा नहीं है, ये गलत है. ये यहाँ पर आपको पर्सपेक्टिव देखना पड़ेगा कि व्हाट द चाइल्ड ऑल्सो वांट्स। वो क्या आपको हर्ट करने के लिए अलग जाके रहना चाहता है या अपनी जिंदगी जीने के लिए अलग जाके जीना चाहता है? पर्सपेक्टिव चेंजेस, राइट और रॉन्ग चेंजेस। सो इफ यू कैन थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ रियल, वन इज इससे मैं जानबूझ के किसी का नुकसान कर रही हूं क्या? नहीं। और अगर किसी के बिहेवियर से आपको तकलीफ हो रही तो ये भी सोचो कि क्या वो जानबूझ के मुझे हर्ट करने के लिए ऐसा कर रहा है, और नहीं पर फिर भी मैं हर्ट हो रही हूं तो मुझे मेरे ऊपर काम करना पड़ेगा। दैट इज हाउ द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ राइट एंड रॉन्ग, गुड एंड बैड keeps on changing.
Don't make yourself feel guilty for each
What
and
is the age group you usually get for counseling? Do
Thank-
people like me, they come to you?
Yes. There is no age group, but unfortunately people have now started coming with 5-year-old children कि ये सुनता नहीं है, दिन भर लैपटॉप लेके बैठा रहता है. That's very sad. And I said, parents, I talk to you. I don't want to talk to that child. The child is being child. उसको कुछ तो भी interesting दिख रहा है, वो use कर रहा है. So people come with and they want the child to be fixed. And the question that I ask is कि घर में free Wi-Fi क्यों है और घर में लैपटॉप किसने लाया? And that's the thing. But I believe that children, as far as children are concerned, I like to consult the parents more. And then of course upper age too. Everyone who wants to live a good life.
No, acceptance of the counseling is coming to check.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
When I started 20 years back, I was the first counselor in Central India. And people used to ask me, who would come to you? Everyone knows what to do with their life. So from there, we have come a long way.
So you're asking about mindfulness in families. I'll give you the smallest habit that you can do, which is please keep your phone away from places where you spend time with your family. So what we've done is, in our house, we've only kept 2 places where you can use your phone. So there are 2 separate chairs in 2 separate rooms. The places where the phone is banned: bedroom, 100%, dining table, 100%, living room, 100%, and toilet, 100%. Okay, so these are the places where you normally end up losing it all. When you're with your family, be with your family. When you are on your phone, be with your phone separately. These little rules, like on my toilet door, there's actually a poster called where written "No phones allowed." You know, like how you have in the offices "No phones allowed." I've actually printed one poster, put it there, because otherwise you forget every time you go inside. It's such a easy thing to ruin families as well.
So I think we'll wrap up here.
Thank you for joining us, and we will meet soon in the OCLF sessions tomorrow. Happy Wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you.